Assalamu alaikum. This is Asmat Khan, and currently I'm studying MBBS from Khyber Medical College, Peshawar. Today we are facing with the corona pandemic, so it's a huge and serious issue for the mankind. So most of you people will be quarantined somewhere in your home. Some people will be there in some safe places, but I have met my place. Safe for me, that is my village. That is quite green and the air is very fresh, so it's a safe area. There are very few homes here, so I'm safe here, and this is a very fantastic time for me here to spend, as we are safe here from corona, as well as we are having time with our parents, brothers, sisters, nephew, niece, etc., our family. Most of our students are in hostels, and some are studying in different colleges, but some people are having some jobs somewhere in other cities. So this is the time you need to spend with your family, and you will be also protected from the corona, so that's a great thing for you people. What is the coronavirus? So if you see that the coronavirus is not a new virus known to the mankind. It is basically a virus that has got its history. We have got different examples for the coronavirus outbreaks, like in 2003. Every one of you know that coronavirus has spread all over the world, and it has caused so many loss to the people. In case of deaths, you all know nowadays the most affected area is America, that is the US, United States, after the China and Italy. So coronavirus is the virus that there's not a single virus, as all of you know. It's a family of viruses, and it has history as well. It's not a new virus that is known now, that is known to be now, but it's a virus that has got its time. If you see, it was noticed in 2003 as a SARS-CoV. So severe acute respiratory syndrome has been caused at that time by this virus, and it was called SARS-CoV. So after 2003, in 2012, it was again observed in the form of MERS, that is Middle East Respiratory Disease or Syndrome. So that's again was the coronavirus. So it's not a new virus. It was observed so many times in the past. So guys, coronavirus was considered as a emergency of international health emergency of international concern in 30 January 2020, and was considered as a pandemic by the WHO 11 March 2020. If you guys carefully study the word corona, so if we study the structure of coronavirus, so it has got different type of proteins. That includes the membranous protein, spike protein, envelope protein, and nuclear capsid proteins as well. And if we study more about the coronavirus, so it is basically RNA virus that is enveloped and non-segmented as well. So guys, as you learned about the spike protein, so the spike protein is just like the crown. That's why it is called coronavirus. If we study about the genetics of this virus, it has got spike protein that is quite similar. There has got similarities to the virus that was observed for the first time in 2003. That is about 75% similar spike protein to that one. It's 96%. As all of you know, the virus nowadays we are observing is basically originated in China, Wuhan city, in 2019, December 2019. And this virus is quite similar to the one that was observed earlier, that was the SARS-CoV 2003. 96% similarity it has got with it. Now I will tell you that why it is quite different from that one up to 4%. So I have got also the answer for this question. And if we study about the virus, another type of virus, if we study about this virus, so the virus that we call as a COVID-19 was observed in China, and that has got 96.7% similarity to the virus nowadays we are facing in 2020, originated from the birds that are called co-red G13 virus. Now it is a prominent property for the virus is that it undergoes mutations. So this virus has mutation rate 1.05 multiplied 10 raised to the power minus 3 to 1.26 multiplied 10 to the 4 raised to the power minus 3 substitution per site per year. So this is a quite slow mutation rate, but this time, as we say, that 96% similarity to that of the COVID 2003, this is just by the mutation. It has got mutation quite dangerous nowadays. That's why we are facing the problem today. So guys, if you study the incubation period for this virus, so it is got 2 to 14 days in which the symptoms will be appear in a person infected already from the coronavirus. So incubation period is just 2 to 14 days. And transmission of this virus is quite simple. It can be transmitted through the droplets of infected person in the form of coughing or sneezing. So these two things transmit this virus, and the most important thing is also the contact with the infected person. So if a person is infected and he's using his body touch, including tears, saliva, and he's using frequently cleaning his nose, so definitely he will get the virus in his body contact with he will transmit this virus to other people with the help of their hands and other parts of their body. So be careful and have a distance to people infected and doubtful to you. So you need to maintain the distance with the people you think may be infected with the coronavirus. So guys, now if we study about the action of this virus in the body, so it's quite simple. Again, it uses as this virus enters to the body, it just go to the lungs, and then it uses the ACE2 receptor to enter the host cell, and the host cell in this case is the alveolar epithelium cells in the lung. So guys, now if you study about its clinical features, symptoms, signs and symptoms, so it's flu-like symptoms like fever, temperatures, and coughing that will be quite dry because viral infection usually produces dry coughing. And another, you will have dyspnea, that is the shortness of breath. The man and the biggest problem in this condition, a person needs ventilator in severe case, otherwise he's gonna die. And also myalgia, that is the weakness of the muscle, and general body tiredness, fatigue in this condition is common. Sometimes the allergic like symptoms also may be common, and another, that is the diarrhea as well. So a person may be symptomatic or asymptomatic, and both conditions are possible. A person is to be more dangerous in case of asymptomatic conditions because he don't know, does not appear with the symptoms. He does not appear with the symptoms, but he's still carrying this virus and transmitting this virus to the other people by the modes that I have already discussed. If we study about the diagnostic tests for this virus in laboratory, so we have got two types of tests. The first test is the PCR technique, that is called real-time reverse transcriptase PCR technique. After reverse transcriptase technique, PCR technique, you have also the serological tests that is based on the blood. When any antigen enters to your body, so definitely your body will produce antibodies. The serological tests are basically the blood-based test in which any antigen enters to your body, so it will definitely raise the antibodies level. So in case the coronavirus will also raise your antibodies level. Now that is to be checked with the help of the serological test, including ELISA, that is the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assays, IFA, that is the immunofluorescent assays, and the Western blot tests. That all tests are included in the serological test for the COVID-19, but that's not very common. That is the real-time reverse transcriptase PCR technique is mostly used for its diagnostic test. Now, if a person wants to check if the person is in doubt about his condition, that whether he is suffering from COVID-19 or not, so he can use a test, blood test simply. Now the blood test is not a reliable test. The reason is quite simple, because you may have different other health conditions which may affect your blood count. I told the blood test is not a reliable test, but if you are suffering from the coronavirus, so your lymphocytes will be decreased by 80%, your leukocyte will be decreased by 30%, and if you do the liver function test, in that case the ST ratio ALT will be quite high. The ST ratio ALT will be quite high. In case if you find two other parameters of your body include C-reactive protein, interleukin 6, ferritin, LDH, that will be quite high. The level will be quite raised in case of the corona patient. Now let's discuss about the very important thing, that is the treatment of the coronavirus. So as every one of you know that there's no antiviral drugs that can cure the virus completely, but you have some drugs that can reduce that you're suffering from great trouble. In case of coronavirus, your body condition is quite unstable. So in that case you can use drugs, but that drug have harmful effects on your body. They have a great side effects on your body. That is, some doctors are saying that tocilizumab, there is a drug that basically prevents the production of interleukin 6. This is the basic reason of causing the fever in case of the coronavirus, that can reduce the fever by blocking the interleukin 6 production. The mortality rate is quite low. That is 0.5 to 3%. That is quite low ratio. Most people are dying in the world from the TB, tuberculosis. The mortality rate is quite high. There are 5 lakh people are dying every year from the tuberculosis. And if we now discuss about the people, they are more susceptible. So they are not quite the people are mostly, the people are saying that the infants and the older people are mostly susceptible. This is a wrong statement. All those people are susceptible who are currently having some other conditions, health conditions like cardiovascular diseases or renal diseases, and some problems that is related like pulmonary edema, etc. pulmonary diseases. So these people are more vulnerable to this virus. But if you are older but you have a healthy lifestyle, you have a strong immunity, so don't worry, it will do nothing to you. Now, how can we protect ourselves from this virus that has caused so much loss to the world, that both economically and also to the people, that the death rate is somehow very high? Now, the main protection from this virus is quite easy. The hand hygiene is required. The respiratory hygiene is required. The respiratory hygiene is in 2 types. You're using the masks. For the doctor people, the N95 mask is required. First of all, you have to avoid the gathering with people. But if you are somehow in gathering, then you need to use the surgical mask for you. It will be quite good. And if you find yourself in doubt that you're suffering from it, so please make yourself isolate. If you're isolated, and most people are basically hiding their travel history from the doctors, and in that case the doctor are not treating those patients in that sense, because if you inform your doctor from your travel history and declare truth to him, he will treat you accordingly, and your life will be saved, and the life of other patients who are sitting with you in the ward will also be saved. So you need to have care for others, care for your family, and care for yourself as well. Thanks a lot.